guys! For today, LEDA Day 3, in which I am live streaming every day in April. Sorry, I'm a little bit excited about all the live streams. Today I thought we would address the question of, should I work for a big company or a small company? Now, I'm letting you guys know right now that I'm coming from a biased perspective and that I work for a big company. All the internships that I did were for big companies, so I'm coming at this from a big company perspective. Well, small little and big little company. Big company. Yeah. So I thought what we could do today is just go over some pro cons of working for a big company, working for a small company. For those of you who are watching live, you can comment with your perspectives, and for those of you watching in the or not live, you can just leave me a little comment. Let me know. Say hey. Let me know that you watched. It always makes me happy when I get comments and I'm like, yes, I'm popular. Anyway, back to the question. The biggest perk, in my opinion, about working for a big company as an employee is the built-in benefits that come with it. And that might come in the form of a health plan, a pension plan, but also a lot of the time they'll have formal mentoring, a lot more people to learn from. They might have formal leadership training to help you move up in the company, and I think that that's a real perk that you should consider when working for a big company. Because a smaller company might not have the resources to devote to your personal benefit. However, on the flip side, when you're working for a small company, there are less people around, which means, I mean, obviously I'm generalizing, but if you're working for a small company, you're the person doing the things. There's no one else to do it for you. At a big company, I find that you're much more segmented, you're much more specialized, whereas in a small company, you're the person doing everything. You have to do a lot more things, so you're probably learning a lot about everything, whereas in a big company, you've got this formal training, but you're also probably working on a smaller scope. One of the big downsides that I see for working for a big company, and this is something that really drives me crazy, is just the amount of inefficiency, the time and energy that it takes to find the person who knows what you're looking for. Because sometimes you're like, okay, who knows about this? Well, there are thousands, tens of thousands of people who work for your company, and so you send an email to this person, they send an email to that person, they send an email to that person, and meanwhile, the email gets sent back to you, and someone's like, Michelle, do you know the answer to this question? I was the one who asked the question in the first place. So there's a lot of time and energy that goes into figuring out who the person that you're supposed to talk to is. I joke sometimes with my coworkers and I say, one day I'm going to start a company and there are going to be two people, me and someone else. And if I don't know the answer, that person's going to know the answer. And if neither of us know the answer, there is no answer. So that's something that really grinds my gears about working for a big company. Whereas in a smaller company, I imagine, if it's small enough that you know everybody in the company, it's not too hard to loop through everybody and say, hey, do you know about XYZ? L. Ebner Puff says, who is more likely to hire without experience? So without having been a recruiter for either type of company, I would say a big company is probably more likely to hire someone without experience, just because they probably have a more formal training, a big hiring. They have the time and the resources to put into training a new person. Whereas I would imagine, again, I'm not in recruiting for either type of company, but I would imagine that a smaller company has less time to devote to a new person. Or in general, if they are hiring a new hire, they're probably hiring one person, whereas a big company might hire 7. Goras says, in what ways can an actuary advance their career in small companies and big companies? So, I can't speak for a small company, but in a big company, I know that where I work, we have formal leadership training. So, I haven't started this yet, but I have my first one coming up in about 2 months, I think. And basically they send me to trainings to teach me different leadership skills, etc. We have like a formal hierarchy structure. So right now I'm starting off as I'm an actuarial analyst. That is my job title right now. One level above that would be senior actuarial analyst. Above that would be an actuarial consultant. These are the titles at my company. At different companies it would be different. And then after that you can get promoted to either manager or project manager. And then above that, you know, you get directors and VP, SVPs, DSVP, you know, all that fun stuff. CEO. Yeah, that's fun fact about me. I have no desire to become CEO. And when I become CEO one day, you guys could play this video back to me and be like, haha, you thought you weren't going to be CEO. Haha, yeah, you are. No, I don't actually want to be a CEO. Not really. No. Do I? No. Grant says you should do a video about the day of an actuary. Maybe one day, but not today, because today we're talking about big companies and small companies. So, I should have written stuff down yesterday. In yesterday's live stream, I wrote stuff down, and today I didn't. Simon says, damn, Michelle, you're killing the actuary game on YouTube. This isn't an actuary video, people. This is a big company, small company video. Yeah. I have a list, and it's in my phone, and I'm live streaming with my phone. So this is problematic. Okay. What was I going to say? You know when you have a thought, and then your thought disappears, and then you realize that you're live streaming? My LEDA is messing up, people. Okay, things I like about big companies is that they tend to have a bigger budget for things like R&D, for things like research and development. Whereas if you're working for a small company and you don't have a lot of people, and the people that you have just need to spend time doing the things that they're hired to do. And not to say that R&D isn't something that you can hire someone to do, but at a bigger company, you tend to have more time to advance. However, if you are working for a smaller company, like a startup, they might be more flexible in how you're able to do things. For example, at my company, because I can't just, download any software onto my computer, we have a formal IT department, and to be able to get software downloaded or to be able to do this or that or to find the person, things are slow. But once everything's installed, like I have the time and the resources to do R&D type things, except I'm not really on an R&D team, so I don't really do it. But we have a big R&D actuarial team. We have a big R&D team at my company. So that's a nice thing, whereas a small company might not be able to do it. Another thing that is specific to if you're a person who works with data, and I work with data, what's really nice about a big company is that you have big databases, and big data is the thing. We don't have to buy our big data. We probably do buy some data, I don't know. But the bigger the databases, the more predictive you can make models, the more fun you can have playing with your data. If you know anything about statistics, it is more credible. Whereas you can't really draw conclusions with a small database, but you can draw more conclusions with a big database. Cracker says, do you work for a big or small company? I work for a big company. Rabia, sorry, says, CAS or SOA? I am an associate of the Casualty Actuarial Society. Thank you for asking. And potentially, in a few months, I might become a fellow of the Casualty Actuarial Society if I pass my exam, which I'm not studying for right now because I'm live streaming. Yeah. Do you guys have any input into whether or not you think you'd want to work for a big company or a small company? I know that all the internships that I did were at big companies, and I liked the fact that they had formal hiring times, formal benefit packages. Well, that's not as an intern, but right now I really like it. I have a pension, guys. There's something really nice and grown up about having a pension. I tell people about my pension, they're like, Michelle, you're 25. I'm like, yeah, and when I'm 65, she's gonna be so grateful to 25-year-old me having my pension. That's true, that's true. All right, well, this live stream has been weird and rambly. If you liked it though, feel free to give it a thumbs up because it makes me happy. Subscribe to see more live streams. Maybe tomorrow won't be so weird and rambly. And thank you for calling. Bye. Also, feel free to leave suggestions in the comments for future topics for future live streams. Okay, cool. Bye. Yeah, thanks. Love you. Bye.